You know the feeling, don't you? That moment right after the applause dies down. After you get the promotion. After you finally cross that finish line you've been running toward for what feels like your entire life. Everyone is patting you on the back, smiling, telling you how amazing you are, how much you deserve this. And you're standing there with a smile plastered on your face that feels like it's made of stone. And inside, there's nothing. Just this hollow, echoing silence. Or worse, there's a voice. A quiet, insistent whisper that says, they have no idea. They're going to find out. This was a fluke. A mistake. The celebration ends, the people leave, and you're alone with the thing you worked so hard for. And instead of feeling joy or pride or peace, you just feel tired. A specific kind of tired too. It's not the tiredness from a long day. It's the exhaustion of a lifetime. It's the weight of 1,000 yesterdays, and the dread of 1,000 tomorrows where you'll have to do it all over again, but better this time. Always better. It's like you're running a race. A race you never signed up for, on a track you never chose. And just as you're about to collapse, lungs burning, you finally reach what you thought was the finish line. You stagger across it, and for a single fleeting second you think, I did it. I'm here. But when you look up, you see it. The finish line, it's moved. It's another 100 yards ahead. So you start running again. And it happens again. And again. And again. You are always running. And you are never ever good enough. That feeling, that deep cellular knowing that you are fundamentally, in some unfixable way, not enough, that is what I want to talk about with you tonight. Not as a problem to be solved. Not as a flaw to be fixed. But as a story to be understood. A story that was written a long time ago by a child who was just trying to make sense of their world. A story that you, the adult, have been living out ever since, probably without even knowing you were reading from a script. This isn't about positive thinking. This isn't about slapping a motivational quote over a deep wound and hoping it sticks. This is about pulling up a chair in the quiet and listening. Listening to the logic of your own pain. Because I promise you, it is logical. Every bit of it. Your mind, your beautiful, brilliant, survival-oriented mind, built a fortress around your heart for a reason. And tonight, we're not here to tear the fortress down. We're just here to understand why it was built. To walk its walls, and to thank the lonely, tired sentry who has been standing guard for so long. So if you're ready, let's begin. You know the script by now. It plays out in 1,000 little moments every single day. It's rewriting a simple email 14 times, deleting and retyping, your finger hovering over the send button for minutes, your heart pounding over a message that says, just checking in on that report. It's the pit in your stomach when the phone rings and your first thought isn't, I wonder who that is? But, what have I done wrong? What do they want from me? It's the way you receive a compliment. Someone says, you look nice today, and your entire system short-circuits. You can't just say thank you. You have to deflect. This old thing, or ugh, I look so tired. You have to negate it. Because to accept it would feel dangerous. Like you're agreeing to a lie. It's the constant, silent comparison. Scrolling through social media and feeling your own life shrink in comparison. Not just envy but a deep, confirming ache. See? They have it all together. They are living a real life. And I am here faking mine. It's the terror of being found out. The imposter syndrome that isn't just a catchy phrase for you, it's the very air you breathe. You live with the constant, bone-deep certainty that one day someone is going to tap you on the shoulder and say, the jig is up. We all know you don't belong here. Please leave. It's the way you people please. You say yes when you mean no. You agree when you disagree. You absorb other people's moods and make them your responsibility. If someone is angry, you must have caused it. If someone is sad, you must fix it. Your own needs? They get filed away in a drawer that's so dusty and forgotten you've lost the key. Someone asks you, what do you want? And your mind doesn't just go blank, it goes white with static. Not because you don't have wants, but because that particular doorway was boarded up and sealed shut a lifetime ago. And then there's the voice. The inner critic. It's not just a thought. It's a presence. A narrator for your life who speaks only in scorn. Commentates on everything you do. Why did you say it like that? You sounded so stupid. You should have worked harder. You're so lazy. Look at them, they're so much more successful than you. What's wrong with you? You don't deserve to rest. You haven't earned it. It's a relentless, merciless voice. And for most of your life, you've probably thought that voice was you. That it was your own conscience, your own drive for self-improvement. You've tried to argue with it, to shout it down, to reason with it. Maybe you've tried to positive affirm your way out of it. I am good enough. I am worthy. But the voice just laughs. It's like trying to put out a forest fire with a water pistol. So you run faster. You achieve more. You try to be perfect. The perfect employee. The perfect partner. The perfect friend. The perfect parent. You think, if I can just be perfect, then the voice will finally be quiet. Then I can finally relax. Then I will finally feel good. But it never works, does it? The goalposts keep moving. Perfection is a horizon. It looks real, but you can never, ever reach it. And so you live in a state of constant low-grade anxiety. A background hum of not enough. It's the soundtrack to your life. And the most isolating part? On the outside, you probably look incredibly capable. You are the one people come to for help. You are organized, you are diligent, you are responsible. You get things done. Because you've had to be. This engine of inadequacy, for all its pain, has also made you highly functional in a lot of ways. It's a powerful motor. But it's a motor that's running on the fuel of fear. And it's burning you out from the inside. You look in the mirror and you see a competent adult. But inside you feel like a fraud. A scared child, standing on their tiptoes, wearing their parents' oversized shoes, trying to convince the world you're tall enough to ride this ride. This is the mystery. This is the split. The you that the world sees, and the you that you feel yourself to be. And the gap between them feels like an abyss. But what if I told you that this entire system, the critic, the perfectionism, the exhaustion, the hollowness, isn't random? It's not a character flaw. It's not a glitch in your software. It is a brilliant, intricate, and ancient survival strategy. And to understand it, we have to go back. We have to go back to the beginning. To the place where the story was first written. To the child you once were. See, a child's brain is a meaning-making machine. It's not developed enough to understand nuance or context, or the complex inner worlds of its parents. It lives in a very simple cause and effect universe. And its primary job, its biological imperative, is to attach, to bond with its caregivers, because its survival depends on it. So, the child looks out at the world and at the people who take care of it, and it asks one fundamental question. What do I need to be, and what do I need to do to be loved? To be safe? To belong? And it learns the answers not from what is said, but from what is felt. From the subtle and not so subtle cues in its environment. Let's paint a picture. It's not one specific memory usually. It's a climate. An emotional atmosphere you grew up in. Imagine a household where love feels conditional. It's not that your parents were monsters. They probably weren't. They likely loved you deeply in their own way. But for whatever reason, their own stress, their own unhealed wounds, their own pressures, their approval, their warmth, their attention became something you had to earn. You got an A on your test? Now you get the beaming smile, the proud hug, that's my kid. You came in second? You got a B+? The smile is a little tighter. The hug is a little quicker. The energy shifts. It's not a celebration anymore. It's a quiet disappointment. A subtle withdrawal. Or maybe it was more about behavior. Big kids don't cry. So you learn that your sadness is unacceptable. A burden. You swallow your tears. Stop being so dramatic. So you learn that your big feelings are too much. You learn to shrink them down. Why can't you be more like your sister? So you learn that you, as you are not the preferred model. You need an upgrade. Maybe the message was even more direct. You'll never amount to anything. You're so clumsy. You're too sensitive. The words become nails, hammering the story into place. Or maybe the condition wasn't achievement or behavior. Maybe it was your role. You learned that to be loved, you had to be the caretaker. The little parent. Your mom was depressed, so you learned to be cheerful to lift her spirits. Your dad was angry, so you learned to be quiet and invisible to not set him off. Your job was to manage the emotional temperature of the entire house. Your needs, your fears, your frustrations, They had to be put away. There was no room for them. The system was already full. In all these scenarios, the child learns the same core lesson. My inherent, natural self is not acceptable. It is not good enough to secure the love and safety I need. Therefore, I must create a different self. A better self. A perfect self. The inner critic is born in this exact moment. It's not your enemy. It was your first and most loyal protector. Think about it. If the world feels unsafe because you might make a mistake and lose connection, what's the most logical thing to do? You hire a full-time internal security guard. His job is to scan every single thing you do, every word you say, every thought you have for any possible mistake, any possible flaw, any deviation from the perfect self blueprint that you believe will keep you safe. The critic's voice is harsh because the stakes felt life or death. To a child, a parent's withdrawal of love doesn't feel like a bad day. It feels like a threat to your very existence. So the critic has to be loud. It has to be merciless. It can't afford to let a single thing slide. Don't say that. They might not like you. Don't wear that. You'll look foolish. Work harder. Or you'll be a failure and end up alone. It's not trying to torture you. It's trying to save you. It's using the only map it has, a map drawn by a frightened child, to navigate a world that once felt very, very dangerous. And the perfectionism? That's not a desire for excellence. That's a force field. You are trying to create a perfect, mistake-free, criticism-proof life. Because you believe, deep in your bones, that if you can just be perfect, you will finally be safe. You will finally be worthy of love. You will finally get to rest. But here's the tragic, heartbreaking twist. The very thing that was meant to save you becomes the thing that imprisons you. The shield becomes the cage. Let's go deeper into how this plays out. Let's look at the different faces of this not enough story. There's the face of achievement. This is the one we talked about at the beginning. The constant striving. You tie your entire sense of self-worth to your accomplishments. But because the core wound is a feeling of internal inadequacy, no external accomplishment can ever fill it. It's like trying to fill a bottomless cup. You get the degree but you need the master's. You get the promotion but you need the corner office. You run the 5K but you need to run a marathon. There is no finish line because the race isn't about the running. The race is away from the feeling of being that small, inadequate child. And you can't outrun yourself. Then there's the face of relationships. This is the people pleaser. The chameleon. You become a mirror for other people. You reflect back what you think they want to see. You have no solid sense of who you are, because your identity was always something you had to construct to please others. So in relationships you disappear. You morph. You abandon yourself over and over again. You might find yourself attracted to people who are critical or distant or emotionally unavailable. Not because you're masochistic but because it feels familiar. It's the same emotional climate you grew up in. Your nervous system mistakes the anxiety, the walking on eggshells, the desperate need to earn love, for passion, for love itself. A calm, secure, easy love might feel boring or even suspicious to a system that is wired for uncertainty. Your mantra in relationships becomes, I will be who you need me to be so that you will not leave me. You're not in a relationship. You are in a negotiation for your own existence. And the terms are always in the other person's favor. And then there's the face of the inner critic itself. Let's spend more time with this one. Because this voice is the engine of the whole system. We often think of it as one voice. But if you listen very, very closely, you might hear that it's not a monologue. It's a dialogue. It's a conversation between two parts of you. There is the critic, the taskmaster. The voice that says, you're lazy. Get to work. Do more. Be better. And then there is the part that is being criticized. The part that feels small, ashamed, and hopeless. The child. The critic attacks because it's terrified. It's terrified that if it lets up for even a second, the real, flawed, you will be exposed and you will be abandoned. So it preemptively attacks. It points out every flaw before anyone else can. It's a brutal, misguided strategy of inoculation. See? I know I'm worthless. You don't have to tell me. So your rejection won't hurt as much. And the child part, the one being attacked, just shrinks. It believes the critic. It internalizes the message. It learns to hate itself, carries the shame. This is an internal war, and you are both the soldier and the battlefield. Now let's talk about the parents. This is a delicate space. It's very easy in this kind of exploration to slip into blame, to point the finger and say, "You did this to me." But that's not the goal here. Blame keeps you stuck. It keeps you in the role of the victim. And more importantly, it's often inaccurate. Because your parents, they were living out their own stories. They had their own inner critics, their own not enough wounds, passed down to them from their parents. Think of it like this. Pain is a relay race, a baton passed through the generations. Your mother's sharp criticism wasn't really about you. It was the echo of her own mother's voice, which was the echo of her father's voice. A chain of pain stretching back through time. They were wounded people wounding people. Not out of malice but out of unconsciousness. They couldn't give you what they themselves never received. They couldn't offer you unconditional love because they had no experience of it themselves. Their love came with hooks, with conditions, because that's the only kind of love they knew. Seeing this doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it does contextualize it. It takes the story out of the realm of, "I am uniquely broken," and places it into the realm of, "This is a human inheritance of pain." You were the last and most vulnerable link in a chain, and you absorbed the weight of all the links that came before you. This is why the feeling is so deep, so fundamental. It's not just your story. It's a family story, a generational story. You are carrying a ghost, and the ghost's name is shame. And what does this ghost do? It isolates you. It tells you that you are the only one who feels this way, that everyone else has it figured out, that if you show your true, messy, imperfect self, you will be met with horror and rejection. So you wear the mask. You polish the perfect exterior. You become a beautiful, well-kept house, with all the lights off inside. You know what's one of the most painful parts? Is the profound loneliness, is being in a room full of people who love you and feeling a million miles away. Because they love the mask. They love the achiever, the people pleaser, the capable one. And you are trapped behind the glass, watching them love a version of you that you know isn't real, terrified that if they ever saw the real you, the you that's hiding in the dark, they would turn away in an instant. So you stay quiet. You perform. You run the race. The finish line keeps moving, and you grow more and more tired. But what if we could stop running? Not by collapsing, not by giving up, but by finally turning around and facing the one who has been chasing you all this time. What if the way out isn't forward, but inward? This is the shift. This is where awareness begins to change everything. It's not a loud, dramatic transformation. It's a quiet, subtle, profound turning of the head. It starts with a simple, revolutionary question. What if I am not broken? What if I was adapted? What if all these symptoms, the perfectionism, the critic, the exhaustion, are not evidence of your failure but evidence of your incredible, ingenious capacity for survival? Think of it like this. You have been at war with yourself for decades. The critic is one army. The ashamed child is the other. And you, the conscious you, are the land they're fighting over. Your scorched earth. The first step toward peace is not to help one side win. It's to become a negotiator, a compassionate witness. It's to walk onto the battlefield with a white flag and to listen to both sides. This takes practice. It starts with noticing. Just noticing. The next time you're rewriting that email for the 14th time, and you feel that familiar knot of anxiety in your stomach, just pause. Just for a second. Take a breath. And instead of getting swept away by the panic, just observe it. Say to yourself, this is the protector. This is the part of me that is terrified of making a mistake. It's trying to keep me safe. It's using its old playbook. You're not agreeing with it. You're not fighting it. You're just naming it. You're bringing it out of the shadows and into the light of your awareness. And then you can talk to it. Gently. With curiosity. You can say internally, I see you. I know you're working very hard. Thank you for trying to protect me. But I've got this now. Sounds simple. Maybe too simple. But it is profoundly powerful. You are, for the first time, differentiating your conscious, adult self from the automatic, survival programs that have been running your life. You are realizing that you are not the voice of the critic. You are the one who hears the voice. You are not the scared child. You are the one who can offer that child comfort. This is the integration. This is the end of the civil war. When you make a mistake, a real, genuine mistake, and the critic starts screaming, "You idiot! You've ruined everything," you can pause. You can feel the shame wash over you. And then you can place a hand on your heart and you can say to that young, terrified part of you, "It's okay. We all make mistakes. This doesn't make you bad. It makes you human. I'm still here. I'm not leaving you." You are giving yourself the unconditional love and acceptance that you never received. You are reparenting that wounded child inside you. Not by spoiling it, but by being the steady, calm, loving presence it never had. When you find yourself people-pleasing, saying yes when you mean no, you can pause. You can check in with yourself. What do I need right now? What do I want? It might be a whisper at first. You might not even hear an answer. That's okay. Just asking the question is a revolutionary act. It's you planting a flag in the ground and declaring, "I exist. My needs matter." When you achieve something and you feel that hollow numbness, you can pause. You can acknowledge the achiever part. "Thank you. You did a great job. You worked so hard." And then you can turn to the numb part, the child, and you can say, "It's safe to feel joy now. It's safe to be proud. I won't let this success disappear. I'm here to celebrate with you." This is slow, gentle internal work. It's not about eradicating the critic or the perfectionist. They are parts of you. They have served a purpose. The goal is to thank them for their service and retire them from their frontline combat duties. To put them on a comfortable, quiet pension where they can offer occasional, gentle advice, instead of running the entire show. The goal is to move from a life of transaction, "I must be perfect to be loved," to a life of presence. "I am here and that is enough." The relief that comes from this is not the relief of a problem solved. It's the relief of a burden put down. A burden you didn't even know you were carrying because you've been carrying it for so long. It's the feeling of finally coming home. To yourself. So let's return to where we began. To that quiet moment after the applause. You're standing there. The promotion is yours. The project is complete. The goal is achieved. The old script is right there waiting. The hollowness. The whisper. They're going to find out. But this time something is different. You notice the script. You feel the hollow feeling in your chest. And instead of being swallowed by it, you get curious. You take a quiet breath. You turn your attention inward, to that young part of you that is so terrified of this success, because success means higher stakes, and higher stakes mean a greater chance of failure and rejection. You feel that part. You sense its fear. And you say silently with so much compassion, "I know you're scared. I know you think we don't deserve this. I know you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's okay. I'm right here with you. We don't have to have it all figured out. We can just be here in this moment. And it's enough. You are enough." The feeling might not vanish. The critic might pipe up again. That's okay. This isn't about making the pain disappear overnight. It's about changing your relationship to the pain. It's about no longer treating your own humanity as the enemy. The race hasn't ended, but you've finally stopped to tie your shoe. You've looked up and seen that the track you're on is of your own making. And that maybe, just maybe, you are allowed to step off it. You are allowed to sit on the grass, feel the sun on your face and just breathe. Without a goal. Without a finish line. Without a judge. Your worth is not a destination. It is not something you earn. It is the starting point. It is the ground beneath your feet, the air in your lungs. It was there before you achieved a single thing. It will be there long after all your achievements have turned to dust. You were never running a race. You were just running from yourself. And the profound, liberating, quiet peace you have been searching for your entire life. It was never at the next finish line. It was always right here. In the simple, courageous act of stopping. Of turning around. And finally, offering a hand to the tired, beautiful, brilliant child who has been running behind you all this time and saying, "You can rest now. We're home." The finish line was a mirage. You were always enough.